Novice rafters get the ride of a lifetime and wind up cheating death.
It was shocking to see the peril that these people were in.
California's Kern River is a scenic, natural wonder and a popular playground.
It's one of the steepest rivers in the United States, and it flows really fast.
But the river has a dark side as well, one that keeps the rescue team at the Kern County Sheriff's Office busy.
People will go in and swim or fall in, and they get tired fighting the current and they drown.
The boulders that are just under water level, they're the size of a Volkswagen, and that's usually what people smash into. We've had over 250 actual drownings in the Kern River since they've started keeping stats.
The river's nickname is the Killer Kern.
On a warm June day in 2010, two friends, Mike McCabe and Ed Flickinger, decide to try rafting for the first time. With a group of friends, 2 rafts, and 2 guides, they head for the river. When they get there, Mike wonders if they've made a mistake.
The river was flowing at a high rate of speed. It was at a very high level, but I didn't really know what to compare it with.
Despite the boiling current, the group launches their boats, and within moments, everything goes wrong.
We saw that tree coming right in front of us, and then we hit it head on. There was nothing that could be done to stay in that boat.
I was in the current, and things happened so fast that I don't remember exactly the sequence of things, but I grabbed onto that tree.
Grateful to be alive, Mike clambers into the tree and considers his options.
The current was so strong that I couldn't even move a couple of yards upstream. It was very dangerous, and I just stayed where I was.
Further down the river, Ed has found something to hang on to.
I grabbed onto that tree and pulled myself up. I was holding on for dear life.
One of the guides of their expedition has also climbed out onto the log with Ed. They are shocked at how cold that water is.
I realized that I could risk suffering hypothermia if I kept either of my legs in the water too long.
Fortunately, their plight has been noticed.
I saw the people gathering on the shore. They were looking, and I'm sure that they had called the rescue team.
2 teams are called, the ground rescue volunteers, and at the Kern County Sheriff's Office, the air support team of Deputies McAdoo and Nelson.
We got our gear together that we needed to conduct the hoist rescue, pulled the helicopter out, and took off and started heading out there.
As we were going out there, the first ground units arrived on scene and actually confirmed that they had 6 people stuck in 3 different trees.
When they reached the scene, McAdoo and Nelson are surprised at how swollen the river is.
Stuff that's usually dry land was underwater.
It was shocking to see the peril that these people were in.
The ground team rescues 2 people using boats, but they can't reach Mike or Ed, marooned in the trees.
And that's when they asked for us to go ahead and conduct a hoist rescue.
The rafters have been in the water for more than an hour and are growing dangerously chilled. How much longer can they hold on?
I was starting to feel a bit frostbit in those feet.
Maneuvering a rescue hoist into those trees is no easy feat. As he drops down toward Mike McCabe, one big risk is that Jason Nelson will get tangled in the trees himself. Slowly, patiently, Deputy Nelson works his way toward McCabe.
It looks like it happens pretty quick, but it was probably another good 20 or 30 minutes just to get him.
McCabe is buffeted by the wind from the helicopter. Just as Nelson reaches McCabe, the exhausted rafter almost lets go.
He slipped and kind of swung around to the opposite side of the tree I was on. I was thinking he's about to go downriver. We need to get him out pretty quick.
The next trick, getting McCabe into the harness so he can be lifted safely.
I was having difficulty knowing how to grab onto the harness and make sure I was secure and letting him know that. So he tried about 3 times.
You're basically hovering 3 or 4 feet off the ground, trying to stay in one spot, trying to hold on, trying not to knock him out, and get this thing around his head, where eventually he's going to have to let go with both hands to get it up underneath his armpits and around him.
This is the most dangerous moment of the whole rescue. If McCabe loses his footing now, it could be fatal.
He would have been swept downriver. Whether he survived or not, I don't know.
But Nelson's timing is perfect.
I was able to get the strop around him, and I gave the up signal, and that's when we came up through the tree. And we were about 25 feet up above the river, just enough to clear those trees.
McCabe is so happy to be out of the tree, he almost loses his fear of heights.
Yeah, I remember dangling there and say, hey, kind of fun being up here, kind of.
Once McCabe is on the bank, the rescuers turn their attention to Ed Flickinger. They position the chopper, and this time, Deputy John McAdoo makes the drop. By now, he has an additional challenge to deal with.
My pilot was a little bit fatigued. My systems operator, Kevin, who's standing on the skid running the hoist and basically putting us into position, he's been at it for about an hour. The winds have really kicked up.
The chopper's whirling blades add to the turbulence.
Wow, that is pretty scary in itself, that wind that's also being created.
I'm like a yo-yo, and I'm at the mercy of my systems operator who's lowering and raising the cable, and also the helicopter pilot who has to hold that helicopter in a steady position in those winds.
All the time the rescue's going on, other rafters keep whooshing merrily by.
You can see these people kayaking by, rafting by, and they appear oblivious to what's going on.
McAdoo is worried time may be running out for the rafters.
Had these people lost consciousness, fallen off into the river, we would have had a much more perilous mission that we might not have been able to save them.
Finally, McAdoo reaches Ed and deftly whips the harness over his head.
He got it around me just really quickly, and then the helicopter maneuvered me toward the shore.
A grateful Ed rejoins his fellow rafters as Deputy McAdoo goes back to lift the other man off the log.
It was quite an amazing feat to have walked away with as limited injury that I had.
Both men are aware of how close they came to becoming one more dismal notch on the belt of the killer Kern.
You never think you're going to be a statistic and think, oh, that's only going to happen to someone else. This really was a close call.
It's not a Disneyland ride, and if you fall in the river, there are no guarantees that you'll